Sure.
Okay then. Another oh so glorious session of Mobile Suit Gundam, Far Side of the
Hmm.
Belt. Denkel, last thing you did, you were moving back to the Dalian to rearm.
And
Before
making slow progress, if memory serves.
yes, that is correct. And it was the top of the turn, so who do you want to go next? You can pick anybody. Person after you will have to pass it to an enemy.
Me.
I was gonna
I
say I'll
volunteer.
pass to Connie.
All right.
Connie,
And
what do you want to do?
last time I recall, Badge and Connie were tumbling, locked together, with both of their legless mobile suits.
Yeah. And if they're not, short time skip because this is after the eye catch.
Oh, hold up! Someone just. God damn it! Someone just rang my door. I'm gonna check it real quick.
It's the
Unfortunate.
Zeon spies.
Yep.
No, it's just Giran Zabi. He's here to explain to you. He's here to explain to you in shock what 420 is.
That's five unnamed products for the G-Quack.
No, also, since last session, I have reworked how ships work. And short explanation for the viewers at home. Instead of an HP block, we are now using what's called mass. Which can only be damaged under certain circumstances and at certain rates. As well as if we changed how criticals work. So, mass, you take one mass away when you inflict 5 to 7 damage. You take 2 away if you would inflict 8 to 17 damage. And anything past 18, you take away 3 mass. Something like a light cruiser, like a
Alright, I'm back.
Salamis, which the Nelson is based off, has 11 mass naturally. And certain weapons, called anti-ship weapons, when they inflict damage on a ship, may roll for a critical on the critical damage chart once per check. So when a ship fires multiple of its turrets, each one has the possibility of scoring critical damage. Anyways, I was just explaining, Pancake, how the new ship rules work.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
I would like. First, Connie is going to change his comm setup so that it is contact comms only.
Okay.
And then he's going to try, emphasis on try, let me think of how I want to say this.
You have me in rapt anticipation.
Through exertion and heavy breathing, because he's getting
Hello?
jostled around and his mobile suit is absolutely trashed. You're just like me, huh? Too focused on keeping the men and women you serve with alive. Does he reply at all?
No.
Oh, you were waxing all poetic and lecturing about North America just a couple minutes ago. Now that we're face to face, you got cold feet? Cat got your tongue?
Connie, what are you about to do?
Connie is going to take the beam saber off of the back of the GM Dauntless and slam it into the side of the Gelgoog's chest. All right, I tried the carrot. Here's the stick.
Reactor grit melee at a -3.
All right. I'm taking up this slot for some reason. All right. Reactor grit melee. So that is a 2, 6. 10. Threshold of 10. And that is 8 3 degrees of success. And while he's drawing the beam saber, he's just going to yell over comms, call him off. We can both leave this bloodbath behind with more men.
You hear a voice say, "Hey, and how are we supposed to know if you are going to actually follow through?"
I could ask you the same question. You had a couple of turncoats over there. But which side gassed a colony full of innocent people and used it as an orbital munition? I don't think trust is quite the issue here.
Then, Connie, you hear, if I recall, my memory isn't the greatest. A lot's happened in the last year, but I'm pretty sure this is my first time in space, jackass.
Well, that's great. That's just wonderful. You know, my first time on Earth was fighting you bastards in Dakar. You wanna know where I was born, buddy? One second.
You're looking it up, aren't you?
I'm literally opening back up the reference sheet because I keep on forgetting. You want to know where I was born, buddy? Colony 14, 8 Bocce, Side 2. You ever heard of that? Well, you won't anymore, except in history books and post-war death reports.
And you want to know where I was from?
Sure, shoot.
Gilby, Minnesota. Doesn't exist anymore. Federation didn't care about regulations. And the water we were drinking literally poisoned us. No one lives there anymore.
You seem to be misinterpreting. Do you think I'm a staunch Federation supporter?
Doesn't matter what you think, it matters what you do. Oh, and what you're doing right now is preventing us from leaving. This factory is the only bargaining chip we have.
Bargaining chip for what?
You really think I'm just going to lay everything out on the table?
It's always worth a shot.
Connie, who would
Besides,
Oh,
oh,
you can keep talking.
yeah. Besides, I think I've earned a measure of trust. There's a beam saber to your cockpit, and I haven't activated it yet.
And if you say to your team to back off, will they?
I believe they would. We want to get out of this as much as you do.
Connie,
Yes.
I'd like you to roll me charm and expression.
All right.
Or performance, whatever you prefer.
Expression is higher. Can I use my special boy bonus?
No, actually.
Nod. All right.
Not this time.
Wonderful. 2 2s. That is a 4. 2 degrees of success.
Connie, you hear? John, Matt, we're pulling back. Tell the Sikhs to follow your lead. Yes, I know.
Connie is going to flip on.
Then you hear, just let them back off.
Connie is going to keep contact comms on and flip on his squad radio.
The rest of you,
All right,
you hear Connie's voice.
Back off. Back off. They're getting out of here and we're getting out of here. They shouldn't shoot back at us.
Zoe?
Yeah.
I'd like you to make me a poise and composure check at a -3.
One sec. That is 7 on a 3. That's 4 degrees of failure.
Oh no. Oh no, bro.
Act upon this information in relation to what Connie just said.
Zoe is a lot happy. So, fact that Connie and Luis almost bit it. The fact that Saul almost bit it. The fact that the ref is right there and it's almost destroyed. The fact that their Gogus are almost done. The fact that they just got shot in the back by the Republic of Zeon. She grips her control. Are they really gonna let them get away again? She just barks on the radio. Again with this shit, Connie?
Losey, Joe, Saul. What's your immediate reaction to what Connie has said?
He's already been not one to prolong violence. So he's kind of stuck between orders and yeah. Huh. I think he's just kind of on guard and he's not sure where to take it.
Losey?
Losey is going to look around. Can she see how the enemy Gelgooks are reacting.
So, what you notice is that besides Bash, who's right in your face, essentially, the Zaku's are covering the Dialgooks, who are a lot more beat up, and they are pulling back, but they're pulling back warily.
Losey is going to sheath her weapon and slowly move away from Connie and Bash. Aye, sir.
Saul,
Yes.
as ranking officer, do you allow this?
Oh. Uh, that's a toughy question.
I know, that's why I ask it.
Yeah. I think with how Salt is right now, and how he's kind of grown a better understanding to a degree of things, and also his own like personal like worry of who might be here. Yeah, he will he will allow it. He can I laser line can I my brain turned off.
Alberic?
Uh because effectively what we're agreeing to is we're we're both pulling away from each other, correct? I want to
Yeah.
make sure I have that understood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. uh yeah, no, I think Saul will take the L for yeah, he'll take the L. He will. Can I open? If I can, I would open the laser line with Captain Albert.
I would like you to make me Keen Systems Technology -2.
Oh,
You have plenty of narrative points if you need them.
oh man, that's like really bad. Hold on, let me actually. So what's my So you said systems,
Yes.
technology,
And Keen.
and okay, Keen is good though. So 4 4. I need a 9. I had to beat a 9.
Question: could we make this easier by like kicking it through the since I'm at short range for them, like kick it through the signal through to the shuttle and then have me rebroadcast? Would that help at all?
Yeah,
Well, then you'd have
yes.
to.
That would just
Just
be a
daisy
flat
chaining
roll
our way
then.
through the Minovsky.
Okay.
Do you still want a +2 on this? This is important.
I think I will take if people are fine with me spending a destiny point for a contentious subject, but I think my character would do this.
Very well then. You've spent the narrative point. You have 7 out of 12 now.
Lovely. Let me pull out my dice. I didn't take it out like an idiot.
They are kind of necessary in a game like this, yes.
That's not great though. That is a I don't want to take a second narrative point, but it's not. That's
How,
not good.
how much did you fail by?
So I need it. So with the +2, I need an 11. I got a 14.
Hmm.
So I'd have to reroll.
Yeah, you would.
Are are people okay if I rerolled? Ask the group.
Go for it, as far as
Yes.
I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
You now have 6 narrative points.
That's that's worse. That's worse. That's one worse.
Fabulous.
Ensign Joe,
I
you
think I'm
hear
gonna take the yeah.
you hear some you can see that it's from Connie's mobile suit. It clearly says his name on the ID on your screen. You cannot make out a fucking word he's saying. It's static, punctuated by noise that sounds like speech but is indecipherable.
Did you mean Connie or did you mean me?
Oh, sorry, Saul. Ugh.
I don't suppose, can I like try and boost the signal or do anything on my end, or is it just that's going to be
Make me a grit and melee.
grit and melee? Oh, some percussive maintenance, perhaps. What? That's Snake Eyes.
You smack into it, then lo and behold, there's Saul.
Hey. Perfect.
So you have a line to Ensign Joe.
Ensign Joe. Ensign Joe, we're going to be. I know how this sounds, but we're going to be pulling back, and so is the enemy.
Well, we got the big bastard on the ropes.
I understand, but as it stands, there's a mutual agreement to retreat, and if you feel that you must, and I in fact implore you to, as your commanding officer, I'd ask that you relay this to Captain Alberic, that this was my order.
Understood. I will rebroadcast.
Thank you.
Albrecht. You see the fighting in front of you just die down suddenly.
Okay.
And then on your video feed, you see Ensign Joe.
Ensign, what's going on?
Apparently, the mobile suit team has negotiated some sort of ceasefire with the Zeeks.
They do not have that authority.
I am simply relaying the information as I have it, sir.
Air officer, get your bear team on the horn.
Understood, sir.
Bear team.
Saul, you see Captain
Yep.
Albrecht. What's Albrecht looking like in this very moment?
Complete fury. We have them on the run. We're about to kill them all. Utter shock, fury, suspicions of treason. The RFZ just betrayed them. His own mobile suit's pilots betraying him would not be beyond the pale right now, especially since we're about to win.
Captain,
Explain yourself, Saul.
between the fact that there are enemies that were just our allies, there's conflict in the men. There's I think an understandably present hesitance to firing on people we were just considering allies.
We did not consider that Zeonic Ace allies, nor do we consider the Rethi allies. If you feel the situation is untenable, fall back to the Dalian's protective net. We can find you cover.
As it stands, that's that's the other reason I'm wishing to relay to you. Connie and Lozi their machines are near destroyed, sir. And it took a moment, but those who are just our allies are equally hesitant to fire on us. So an uneasy ceasefire was agreed upon for us to retreat. Sir, would you
Air
like-
officer, open up the traps. Bring the mobile suits home.
Thank you, sir.
Comms, get me Pamra.
Understood, sir. Saul, I believe you have something to tell everyone else.
Something to tell everyone else?
Yep.
Could you elaborate? Because I feel brain dead.
They weren't privy to the conversation you just had with Albrecht.
Yes, of course. Well, yeah, he relates to everyone else. They are opening up the air traps. We are retreating. Albrecht is not pleased, but I am taking the brunt of it. Connie, Lozy, you're near death. Pull back.
Ebot, do you need cover?
No, I'll provide cover for my team.
All right. We have one trick up our sleeve. I'm willing to spend it, but also willing to wait.
I'll will specifically stay behind to make sure everyone else gets back first.
Albrecht, you have a line to Pamra.
Care to explain what the fuck just happened and why I shouldn't blow your ass out of the sky?
Pamra looks confused. Excuse
What's
me,
so
sir?
what's so confusing about your own pilots turning tail and killing my own?
He looks visibly taken aback. What?
Did you not just see that?
I can't see anything from back here.
It's space, Pamra.
You know that, Quicks. You know
Not
how.
exactly there are not exactly many impediments to line of sight. Do you seriously intend to tell me that not only do you have no explanation for why your pilots tried to kill mine, but that you did not even witness it occur?
Sir, at this distance, everyone looks like a small a blue dot in the distance. I
Weapons
can't.
officer, prepare to engage.
Please, sir,
That-
see reason. And we had nothing to do with this.
Reason tells me that your men tried to kill me, therefore you will try to kill me. Is my reason flawed, Pamra, and if so, how?
Why wouldn't I have tried to kill you earlier then?
To wait for my mobile suits to be aboard.
We had a point blank shot on you, sir.
You
We've-
will. And should I continue? I'm very aware. But I refuse to believe, unless persuaded otherwise, and rapidly, that you could house traitorous pilots aboard you for so long without you knowing or being involved.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Rosie, you two both get a distress ping. It's 3 of the downed Republic of Zeon pilots.
Oh shit.
I mean, I'll signal for permission to try and bring him back in, I guess.
She's going to calm Saul and relay the pings back to him. We got down friendlies.
The generous usage of the term.
Something's up here.
Air officer comes on the horn. Be advised, RFC are green, not blue. Loyalty in high state of flux.
Who would like to be the first to approach these downed pilots?
Zoe's gonna fucking basically shoulder check Lozy out of the way.
Rosie's suit explodes because she's at 1 HP.
Yep.
If Saul has to kill you
Did I
now,
stutter?
Rocks fall. Everyone dies.
Guys, interdimensional ultramarines.
I don't think Saul has what it takes, by the way.
Instant, these are distress beacons.
The Dauntless just looks back. If they shoot at me, killing
Don't be a hard ass.
hard ass. No, just be quiet and turn back to the ship, coward. And she shoots off.
That kid is gonna get all of us killed, I swear.
is she like aggressively going towards the down pilots, or
Yes. Yes.
Mm. Mm. Ah, damn you!
Actually, question.
Yes.
When Zoe shoulder checks Losey, can Losey use Right Slap to sort of put her in, like, just keep her in place?
Actually, I would prefer it if you didn't, but I can't actually stop you.
Why would... Well, that scares me.
No, I think it would just be a nice scene with Losey and this pilot.
She doesn't. She lets Zoe go.
Saul's already taken an L. I don't think he can risk taking another, but he does watch her go and keeps an eye on her.
You don't follow?
Just be
He
careful.
Connie and Losey have fallen back. I did order her to fall back.
I think I'm still like stuck with Badge right now. We haven't had our little moment to separate yet.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
you did that.
Losey, like, waves goodbye.
real quick, as Connie and Badge separate, he's gonna say one last thing over contact comms. I have a feeling the next time we meet is gonna be our last, and only one of us is gonna walk away from it.
Till next dance. Fed.
Au revoir. And then he putts away or tries to get as much thrust out of his damaged dauntless as he can.
All right.
Why does everyone leave me behind? See ya, but she, like, waves awkwardly to Bash and then follows Connie.
As the two most wounded get back and everyone else pulls back, Saul did say that he was trying to get everyone back to Albert. He didn't mean that. If it's seeing we're at a point where he's like, okay, we're just not going to be killing anyone else, and then seeing Zoe break off like that, he's like, God damn it. He will in fact follow after her, and he will say to Albert, Zoe is ignoring order to retreat. I am going after her. Do not wait on us.
We're gonna wait, but
Well, thank you, sir.
step lightly.
So, Zoe, as you're approaching this pilot, you see the pilot waving a emergency flare from outside the cockpit. Basically the cockpit door is open, and this pilot's standing in it.
The Jim Dom just approaches the Zaku and hovers over the pilot.
You hear a voice say, "What happened? Did you get him? The traitors, did they get away?"
What the hell happened?
The remnants spouted some sort of shit at about out some asteroid where they could keep fighting. They opened up on the rest of us. Did they get away?
No thanks to my chicken shit commander.
Damn it.
Do I hear that?
Yes.
As Saul follows behind, he does retort. Zoe, it's not about being chicken shit. Did you not see Connie and and Losey? They almost died.
He always does that again and again. Gets in the way. Shouting, oh shit.
You were cutting out a bit, Swappy.
That Connie always does this. Again and again and again and again and again. But fine. Fine. Let them run and rebuild again. Sure. She's just gonna offer the hand to the pilot.
You know, as this pilot gets in the hand, he gives you a salute.
And the other pilots of the other are the other Zaku's pilots alive or what?
You know, as this guy clambers into your cockpit, he points over or to one of them.
She's not letting him in the cockpit.
Okay. He points over there and says, "Nara, bid it." And then he points over to the one to his left. I couldn't get anything on comms with Dill. I don't know
So-
if he's alive or dead.
I'll go for the one that didn't respond. Lieutenant, go take care of the one that did respond.
Which one did he point to that was still alive?
The one to his left, Dill.
Okay, and is he trapped or is he out of his cockpit?
This guy doesn't know.
Okay.
Zoe is the
Saul-
one going to the one that didn't respond.
Okay. Saul's gonna go over and overview. How's his cockpit? Is it like fucking busted closed, or is it like?
It does seem busted close.
Okay, so we have to actually bring the whole thing back. Okay. Not ideal, but he will pick up. He'll have his. He'll pilot the gym command, so it basically like gives. It helps the Zaku up. Zoe, if you can, save the other ones alive. This guy's stuck in here. I'm going to be bringing him back.
Roger that. She's approaching the Zaku with her beam rifle.
When you get there, you see it took a clear shot right through the chest. Pilot was probably vaporized pretty much instantly.
Is the cockpit block gone?
Oh, reduced to dust.
Zoe just says, dead. Looks like you and your friend are the only survivors.
You know, with a slight static fuzz, Zoe, you hear, "Long live the Republic."
Zoe doesn't really respond as her head is just like a void of just.
You know, when the camera
Mon-
pans to
frustration.
you, like it's doing that shadow thing where you can't actually see the eyes.
Exactly, yeah. And she just returns to the Dalian.
Jill, I believe you had something to say. You know, you've gotten back into the hangar.
So with the captain's orders to load up the public up with Marines, and we're going to go and take control of the Gratitude, because I don't trust them.
Load the public up with Marines and stand by for orders to board the Gratitude. Don't board it yet.
Oh, good. So that means I have time to start loading torpedoes again.
It is technically possible that Pamela couldn't have known that that his pilots were traitors. Technically.
And if they did know, I'd like to have a couple torpedoes on board to blow them all to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Albrecht, what do you do?
I'm still. I thought Pamela might not have known about it, but when he said he didn't even see it, I'm like 100% he's involved. He obviously knows and knew the whole time.
Quick. I'm going to stop you because you've made this mistake before on our campaigns. In Gundam, there is an end of line of sight in space. It does not make actual.
We've been flying formation side by side. Everything he saw, we saw. Everything other way around.
No, so remember, when the Gratitude got hit, you told it to basically pull off, and you kept plowing ahead. Every single turn that happened, you kept moving farther and farther away.
That's not how space works. All right, so
It's essentially been left behind.
I'm still gonna sink him. Like, unless he can come up with a really good excuse in like 10 seconds. I came here to kill a Zeke ship, and by God, I'm gonna kill a Zeke ship. Whether it stole a factory or whether it turned its guns on a Federation ship, I don't really care. There's no chance he didn't know. And very little chance it wasn't his idea. So. Oh, I'm going to say that to him, actually. There's no chance you didn't know, and there's very little chance that you weren't in charge of the whole thing. So, Captain Pams, you have 30 seconds.
Thanks, Quicks, for putting me on the spot.
You're the one who made him traitors.
Actually, you did. Pamra says.
I did? Since when?
Pamra actually doesn't know anything about this.
What are his exact words?
Pamra says, all hands brace for evasive maneuvers.
Coming back, do we see him start opening up on the other ship?
Well, that depends
No,
on what
no one's
Albert
shooting.
does.
No one's shooting. It's just very tense.
Essentially what you see happen, Alberic, is, the Gratitude starts to basically, as the camera perspective, a nose down dive, and pushing itself as fast as it can go.
Chase! Weapons! All forward thrusters. Chase that thing. Don't let it get out of gun range. Let the log show they attempted to flee when confronted.
I'd like you to make me, let's see, mobility, leadership, grit.
Okay. Mobility 5, leadership 5, grit 5. And I rolled a 9. 7 successes.
7 successes.
Also, how am I the one who made the Republic of Zeon betray us?
Because we were winning too hard.
Actually, no. The mobile suits were traitors. You're just freaking Pamra out right now.
Well, there's. I stand by what I said. There's no chance he didn't know, and little chance he isn't in charge of the whole thing.
Oh boy. Okay, I have to.
Listen, he's either in on it or incompetent, and both are basically unforgivable at this juncture.
Correct.
We did get shot at.
But in a completely non-lethal way. Only in a disabling way.
Wait, huh?
The Gratitude was disabled. Like, it wasn't sunk. By rights, it should have been.
That's correct, yeah.
So yeah, either he's in on it or he's so dumb he's actively a liability.
That's okay. If that's Alberic's read, there's going to be a problem then.
Say, man, how many plot points for for the Doctor to finish up what he was doing in the med bay to show up on the bridge conveniently?
Sure. You could just do that.
Yeah, we just make it happen. Yeah.
Oh my god. So
Just okay. Just gonna look at Captain Albrecht and just, with your permission, I'd like to try and convince Captain Pamela that perhaps surrendering his ship for an investigation might be in his best interest and in the Republic's best interest. It would look bad for everyone if we end up sinking a Republic of Zeon warship.
Not if they killed our men.
But do we know how many on board that ship are, victims or pawns of this? Even if the captain is responsible, we should give them a chance to try to resolve this peacefully. Maybe appeal to his bridge crew to remove him before we, vaporize them.
Come as shoot this man.
Albrecht gives Matherin a long look. Either he's incompetent and a threat from that, or a traitor and a threat from that. I fail to see a third way, Surgeon.
I don't see any way for the Captain Pamela to remain in command of a ship. I'm merely asking for an opportunity to try and prevent us from creating some sort of international incident.
The international incident is upon us, whether we would have it or not. I, as the captain of the ship, have a responsibility to safeguard the safety of my threat. That ship, he says, pointing at the Gratitude, is the greatest safety threat in the vicinity.
And I'm not arguing with that being your responsibility. I'm just looking for another way. Try to do this in a deferential way. It's like, because I can't tell the captain he's acting like a hothead on his own bridge. That is not a effective method, I don't think.
Well, the thing is, you're trying to ask him to check if something he believes is physically impossible is true in front of like a clear and present danger in the middle of a downed pilot recovery operation.
Oh,
fair.
Well,
is it possible there may be some uncompromised crew aboard that ship, and therefore we could call upon them to help us end this?
I suppose that is technically possible, but we don't have time to negotiate to do some outside infiltration to depose the captain.
Oh, this would be like this just be a wide beam broadcast on everything to try and get through to someone on that ship.
Pam's is refusing to talk. I don't know if they'll hear us, but there's no chance. Well, I suppose we have nothing to lose, but 30 seconds, we're already gaining on them.
Dr. Matherin, you're given a line. And Yalvin hands you a microphone. And he says, "Best of luck, Doctor."
To any crew loyal to the Republic of Zeon on board the Gratitude, you have 1 minute to remove the captain from control and power down your engines, otherwise risk destruction. This is not the way to get at peace with, new allies immediately shooting at one another, but our hand has been forced. Please don't give Federation forces any excuse to destroy your ship. And just kind of making a plea for anyone who's maybe still has their head hasn't completely lost their head that this is the only way out of this thing, because they're dead. We will blow them to pieces in very short order. And even somebody is like completely not up to date on like space combat worker. It's obvious even to the doctor that this will not result in the gratitude survival. I guess he's just like playing with them to save their own lives.
Matherin, on the line, you hear Captain Pamela said, 50 of my sailors died to save your ship. How can we trust your psychotic federal captain not to blow us out of the water?
Space the remaining traitors aboard.
You
I'm gonna cover the mic at that moment. It's like I'm just gonna, Captain. Were our position reversed, would you be any more willing to give our ship the benefit of the doubt?
I would expect to be Adams by now if the position was reversed.
Mather just kind of turns green at this as he's playing like a one-man game of telephone in between the two. Captain Palmer, you have to admit your actions do look extraordinarily suspicious in light of what has just happened. I sympathize with your losses, but you have to know that surrender is the only way that your remaining crew is going to survive this.
and you can guarantee personally, hey, that you will not open fire. I have a responsibility to this crew and their families to get them home.
You have my word, and he's gonna look at Captain Albrecht knowing full. Yeah, I don't have the authority to actually make that promise, but
Matherin, may I?
to like slowly push the microphone or hand the headset over.
We have a public class vessel on board. We can make it neutral ground, meet upon there. If you and I meet captain to captain and talk this thing over, if one of us flinches, we'll both go out. Meet on the public halfway between the Gratitude and the Dalian.
These terms are acceptable, Captain.
See you in a moment, Captain.
He salutes.
Albrecht returns it.
Matherin, I'd like you to make me a keen and awareness test.
Okay. That is success with 6 degrees.
You swear out of the corner of your eye that you see Yalvin visibly sigh and like deflate with tension.
Insult.
Back in the hangar.
Yeah, we bring aboard the fucked up Zaku. Don't jaws of life this man. Save him.
I'd like everyone to roll me fatigue empathy from the flight team.
Everyone? Or, okay.
Yeah, strike craft of various kinds.
Fatigue.
Zoe is
empathy.
going to be standing at the entrance of the catapult, just staring down the hangar.
3 successes.
Failed by 1.
I got 1 success.
Remember, fatigue empathy, if you succeed, that inflicts mind damage.
It sure does. It tracks for Saul's psyche at the moment.
4 degrees of success on fatigue empathy.
Remember, this is a D3 damage on top of the 1 damage you just take for being in combat.
Oh, I see. Well,
That's a fail by
D3,
1.
And it's a 3.
that's
Connie is
easy.
at 1 mind health. So Connie is just sitting on the open lip of his GM Gauntlet cockpit
Be right back.
with his
well,
helmet.
hey, Saul is joining you there because I'm at 2 mind health. He's sitting slack in his cockpit.
Connie just looks exhausted completely. He's sitting on the lip of the cockpit, helmet on his knees, resting his arm on his helmet.
You two peer down on the hangar floor as you see the mechanics pop open the what remains of the chest piece. And then you see one of the mechanics, surprisingly, not a veteran of the 1 Year War. Just missed it. Shy away from what he sees and throws up.
Please tell me I can't see that.
Do you look away?
No. This wouldn't be the first bout of. This wouldn't be the first time Connie's seen something like this. He just closes his eyes and makes the sign of the cross.
Saul.
Yes.
You see the medical orderlies pull this guy out, and all you can see in his chest is just red. What was once green has been stained with red, and there remains nothing of a head.
His stomach clenches a bit. His fists clench. And he's glad he did not.
Phase Connie that much.
He
done
doesn't.
that to people.
Well, for Saul, a bit different. He clenches his fists. He clenches his teeth. He looks at it. He can't look away. All he can remember is Takar. All he can think about is everyone else who was dying at a Bawaku.
Saul. An image's flash is from A Long Summer. To your left, you see an APC, and then suddenly there's a yellow tracer that flies by. The shot ends, and it enters slow mo as you see the APC to your left explode. By the way, this is reused footage.
Yes, of course, absolutely. We just put a filter over it.
Exactly.
Connie's getting flashbacks to Dakar as well, but probably different flashbacks.
Joe, you're loaded up.
Perfect.
Behind in the crew compartment, you see Captain Albrecht.
Hi.
Albrecht, what would your honor guard be, if that's the correct term in this situation?
The Marine captain. It's just some other Marine. And Matherin, of course.
Okay, then security detail of 2.
Oh, do we have any recovered RFZ pilots aboard?
Yes, you have
alive ones. Let's bring them with us just to swap, make it easier. Don't want to make it look like a hostage situation. Even by Albrecht standards, that would be a completely pointless escalation.
Zoe just drops off the troop at the base of the public class. She has not exited her dauntless.
Albrecht, in front of you, you see Lieutenant Kampar, our salute. Captain Albrecht?
Lieutenant? An interesting day so far. Already let one Zeke ship slip through my fingers. I would really not have to find out there was a second one I didn't know about this whole time.
You know, this guy rubs his chin. Would be a surprise to me, sir.
Albrecht checks his officer's sword and then his hold-out pistol strapped to his leg, like an ankle gun.
Everyone, you
What?
hear? Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they hear the call to clear the hangar for non-pressure up for those lacking spacesuits.
Is this the hangar the rest of the crew? Oh wait, no, this isn't a carrier. It doesn't have one.
Actually, technically, is a carrier, but it only has one hangar.
Yeah, the public's weird. Anyways,
It's a deeply goofy looking little ship.
you can't catapult launch it. I imagine it's too big.
Well, no, that's where you're wrong. They did do that.
Really?
Yeah, it's really dumb looking. It also eats up like the whole catapult.
Mm.
It also half the time it was because they loaded it with fucking explosives.
Ah, it's like a fire ship.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Um,
think they did that at Solomon, and then it kind of worked, and then it just kind of then started backfiring because then they realized, oh, if we shoot them as they're launching, eating up the whole catapult.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I go to the Zeke pilot. Do you have all your personal effects?
he pats himself down. Seems like everything's in order.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's get you home, and well, please don't kill me, and I won't kill you.
He has a wry look about him. The two of you get to the neutral ground. You see, what's, I forget what the name of their.
Fat Uncle?
No, I don't think the shuttle has a name. It's just a dinky little shuttle.
It has one. It's just this shuttle. Yeah, you know the one.
It might just be the TV.
Anyways, a Zeke shuttle approaches, and Pamra boards, along with two armed sailors.
Captain
Albrecht?
This pilot, we got one. We managed to pull him out of a mobile suit, so sending him back to you. So, Pamra, what we observed was that about half of your pilots turned on us, and was it about half, or was it like most of them?
You turn to the Marine, and he's about to say something. Compar says it was half.
About half of your mobile suit pilots turned on both us and the other half, causing the Rethi to get away.
I see, Pamra says.
I gesture to the surviving pilot. You wouldn't happen to know the names of the turncoats, would you?
I do. And
yeah, I presume you don't have to come up with their names. I presume he just relays them to Pamra.
Yeah, he's just gonna say, Lieutenant Commander or Defy's flight. Sorry, team.
Care to clue me in on what the full Lieutenant Commander? Care to clue me in on what exactly that means?
Are you asking me, Gomine, or Pamra?
Pamra.
Then Pamra said, as like he has an inquisitive look. He says, as he was just transferred to me for this mission. I know
But,
not,
was he-
I knew nothing about the man a week before we started on this chase. Nothing that his records didn't say.
Well, do you
And
have any similar ciphers aboard?
could you remind me, Gomine, what you exactly mean by that?
Or is there like anyone else who like you also don't know about and can't vouch for?
And Pamela says, we've got about, he says, 30 new arrivals, all as post-war replacements. Not sure what the current count is, considering the fact that he looks at you very strange, very like, he's kind of pissed off. He says, as 50 of my crew did die today. Not sure about the other, or 80 in medical at the moment.
Well, you're in circles that I'm not. Is there any sympathy for the Rethi? There's other types of support they might be able to expect as they move deeper out into space. I'm sailing blind here.
Matherin. Let's see. I'd like you make me keen investigate or academics, or maybe politics. All work.
Keen investigate politics. I'll do academics. I'm marginally better at that. That is 5 degrees success on that, actually. Apparently, I can just roll nothing but low with Matherin. It's very convenient.
Matherin, there are rumors that elements in the Republic the Republic Self-Defense Force are intentionally feeding Republican pilots to the remnants or sabotaging their missions.
Makes sense. So these, putting 2 and 2 together, these pilots are probably could very well have been placed on board solely for the purpose of defecting rather than being. I mean, I think we kind of may have already parsed that, but that sort of makes sense with this with their methodology.
Alberic, you hear
So-
Matherin hum. He looks like he's realized something.
I look over to him and eyebrow raised.
I think somebody in the remnant sympathizers in the Republic may have deliberately seeded your flight crews with sympathizers.
Well, loyalty of the RFZ in entire isn't really my prerogative, but well, we'll tow you into port. Do you think if the gratitude can't move under its own power, we'll pull you in?
Also, remember, says we weren't hit that badly, the Dalian, in that fight, correct?
Very superficially, we lost a sensor and we lost one other thing.
A few men.
The what?
A few men.
A few dudes. Yeah.
You got off very light.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Very.
like to ask permission to bring aboard some of the wounded from the Republic ship. Then,
Granted.
Sounds like they're pretty overwhelmed.
Granted, send over any medical personnel or any medical personnel or patient transfers that are necessary. Meet with my full approval.
Thank you.
Albrecht Pamra Huff says he clacks his heel and salutes. I'll make arrangements on my end.
Stay in touch.
Back on the Dalian.
Mm,
Zoe,
yeah.
what are you doing now? You're still on alert. And you're at your battle station for now. But it's been 30 minutes. Nothing has happened that would require you to do something.
She has been feeling the anger she felt back when she was in the war, just bubbling and bubbling, not helping that sure, Connie really did help her during the war, and she's thankful, but she's getting tired of again and again. Let them pull back. Let them pull back. All in their delusion that it'll save lives, when really it's just going to get more people killed in the long run. But, if she says that, they'll probably say she's consumed by war or crazy or a hothead. Sure, maybe she is. Maybe she just wants to go back home to her people. The people that are waiting for her. People she doesn't know she can go back to, but still wants. She punches the cockpit screen as she opens the cockpit and just starts storming out.
Hey, Zoe, I have a question.
Yeah.
What are your bonuses and baggages?
Sharp instincts and guilty conscience. Oh wait, I have to re-roll. I forgot I had guilty conscience. I have to re-roll my fatigue empathy check. That's another fail, so it still stays. But
Excellent.
yeah, I have guilty conscience, sharp instincts.
I would like you to make me an awakening test at a -2.
Do I get? Wait, can I use Connie as the bonus? So it'd be
That is with
-1?
Connie in the bonus already.
Oh.
You don't seem like the type to be a new type right in this very moment.
And yet you'd be surprised.
The dice tell stories.
You'd be surprised. I got Snake Eyes. I got a 6.
On a 3d6?
And a 4. And a 4. Yes, it was a Snake Eyes and a 4. So I got a 6.
How many points did you have?
9. -2, that's 7.
Very well then. Reset your awakening points to 0. Give yourself new type 1.
Boom. Oh, wait, I gotta change the new type skill as well. There we go. The pressure cooker has gone off.
What's everyone doing right now?
Connie
Let's
is-
start with Saul.
Oh boy. Man. I think right now, more than anything, after seeing that the guy he was trying to save died and was like super dead, and taking like the brunt of Albert, like at least on our end, Albert's fury, then learning, oh shit, Albert is that close to losing his goddamn mind and killing our allies. He finds himself in a situation where he was very close to breaking up, like bawling his eyes out or like breaking down back as he did back in the car, with the idea that the enemy was honorable enough, I guess, to let us also like mutually retreat, that Albrecht almost was willing to kill tons of people not involved with the pilots who turned traitor. Zoe's harsh criticisms of him, the general just death and betrayal, and like in the background of it all, like the non-zero chance that his girlfriend and love of his life that he hoped to spend the years after the war with is with these Foreign Legion people, and that terrifies him more than anything. And he just asks himself, why should he even be here? Because he's a liability to the mission. He's a liability to hurt people he loves. And more than anything, what the fuck is the Earth Federation doing?
Speaking of the Earth Federation, you're sitting on this bench in front of the bridge when Alberic passes by. I believe you two need to have a talk about something.
Sir,
We do?
Well, a lot's happened today.
yeah. Sir, I'm ready for your reprimanding whenever or a mission debrief, whichever you prefer first.
Reprimanding? What for?
You seemed very displeased about the fact that I agreed to a mutual retreat, even though Lozi and Connie were close to death.
Did I? You made the right decision. There's nothing to reprimand. Whether or not I personally like it, it was still the right decision, objectively.
He seemed somewhat surprised, considering what he had heard about prior. Well, then, I thank you for understanding my judgment in that situation, sir. Then I suppose you just want to debrief.
Your subordinates all right?
No. I think everything's weighing down on them. The mission.
He meant, are they alive? Were they recovered?
He. Oh, I mean, like, does he say that in character or?
I meant, did they survive? Did they make it? It's a complicated medical situation. Half of our medical crew are on the Gratitude. Half of the Gratitude's patients are here. I'd hate if I missed a pilot and didn't even know about it.
Right, sir. Yes, they are all alive. I made sure. I don't want another Dakar.
Yeah, none of us do. Well, allegedly, that's why we're out here. I need you to tell me exactly what happened with those turncoat mobile suits in as great of detail as you can recall.
As far as I can tell, sir, they arrived. The entire team was helping us fight the Gelgoogs. In the middle of the fight, when we seemed to have gotten the upper hand against the Gelgoogs, half of them turned on their own, and the other half were shot down. And I mean, I'm sure you have seen the report, and you haven't. And if you haven't, I would be happy to write you one.
No, it's just, was there any
we out-
signal? Was there any attitude shift, formation changes, just any clue that they won't, that if this happens again or something like it, they won't get the jump on us the same way?
I mean, there was a formation shift, so to speak, but that was about the only thing I noticed, sir. Out of the four that were betrayed, only one lived. They were more than willing to trade their own and leave them for dead.
And also fire on their own Gelgoogs to sell the act. We're up against something really savage, Saul.
To a degree.
Well,
Oof.
we've got running out of tricks up our sleeve. We still have a few left. We're probably going to have to tow the Gratitude back into a port. I don't know if they can move under their own power at all. I want to reduce aviation. Regardless of how many mobile suits are left, I'd like to reduce the number of daily sorties for a while. There's the entire air crew, from maintenance to mechanics to air control to pilots, are under extreme strain to the point of bursting. We just can't keep going. The crew can't sort of take another fight like this. I'm sure you agree.
I think the last fight, sir, for better or for worse, might be the last, depending.
We really, damn it if I do, damn it if I don't. I cannot let the Rethi escape, but I cannot press my crew any further.
For what it's worth, sir. You're prioritizing lives in the end. And if the Zeeks only see the factories of bargaining chip, then there's a question of how they would actually even use it.
They could make a significant nuisance, but they can't. They could never make that many. But bargaining chip? That's what they intend to use it for? How do you know that?
That's what I overheard, sir.
Did you those negotiations, how'd they go exactly?
Saul,
Yes.
you are not the one to make the negotiations.
No, I was not, but I can lie.
That's up to you if you want to lie or not.
I'm just gonna say, Saul would know this. If Connie found out he lied to take the heat off of him, Connie would march right up to Alberic and say, "I fucking did it."
I know, but also, who is Albrecht more likely to believe?
Out of character, Albert will believe fucking anything at this point.
It's been a long day.
I think Alberic will believe the fucking war hero that's highly decorated.
Captain Albrecht, Shar has invaded the Federation. He is inside Federation High Command. You have to shoot your superior.
He's eating McDonald's right now.
He just took.
Stole the last of the head cheese.
He just took the General Assembly hostage.
Yeah, that won't happen for a few years.
He's in the vents. Wait, no, that's just Bucky.
That's Bucky, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Saul, what do?
Admittedly, sir, I was busy trying to make sure no one killed Connie, and it sounds like before I could make the call, he was the one who initiated talks with the enemy team lead, who nearly died himself.
Oh, all right. I'll talk to him then. I very much would like to get a sense of what our opposite number is like. Will that be all, Lieutenant Saul?
Saul desperately wants to be like, hey, I don't know if I am mentally capable. There's a non-zero chance, like, I have personal shit involved in this, and that compromises me. But also, Albert has not shown to be a stable person.
Nick, your decision.
Balls in your court.
Begrudgingly, Saul shakes his head. All I ask, sir, is that your understanding of Connie.
Connie's certainly earned it.
Thank you, sir. And he will stand up to leave. A bit awkwardly, but he will leave.
As you leave, in this short intermission, Tide, would you like to say what you've written?
Albrecht, I have a wife who may be a and Albrecht just fucking shoots him.
Whoopsh.
Connie.
Big
Connie is in the ready room, floating, curled up in a ball, with his helmet kind of in his chest, and he's sleeping in big quotations. It looks very fitful and unpleasant.
You hear
Uh,
over the intercom, Warrant Officer Connie. Hey, Warrant Officer Akos Constantine. Hey, report to the bridge. Warrant Officer Akos Constantine. Report to the bridge.
At captain's office, not the bridge.
Ah, I see. Not the bridge. Got it.
It's more dramatic.
Connie kind of wakes up with a start and slowly unfurls himself and kicks off of the ceiling and starts.
Zoe's at the door.
Leaning, I presume, all cool like.
No, she's staring at him through the door frame.
I because of your PFP change, whenever you say Zoe, just my mind's eye conjures up Hatsune Miku.
Miku!
And so her
see beyond
standing
the-
there looking really intimidating and like emotionless is hilarious.
I
I'm about to
can't
hit
see
with the
beyond the
Miku
hood. I can't see beyond the time. Hatsune Miku.
This is basically what's happening.
The guy's
Except one of
staring.
them's Hatsune Miku, yeah.
So, can go mine. Can
Yes.
Connie sense that there's something different about Zoe?
Yeah, she's pissed.
Well, obviously, go mine.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, how about this? I'm gonna roll an intimidation check with my pressure, so he knows something is off. Can I do that?
Yeah, with wrath.
Yeah. So wrath, intimidate.
Pressure doesn't afflict mind health, right?
No, but it
No,
is
I-
used for. Well, it could, but not in this specific instance.
Because that would be very bad.
5 successes.
If it was an attack, it would, but not. This is not an attack. You feel it, and it's like a weight on the room, a suffocating atmosphere, Connie. You know, the camera shakes when your vision lands upon Zoe.
Connie stops and sort of that very, very dull, exhausted, drained look snaps away from his face, and he understands. I see you've awakened, Zoe. How
Are
does
you
it
happy
feel?
with your decision? Do you think you're saving lives, Connie? That you're being a hero?
Connie,
Yeah.
you hear
Connie.
over the intercom. Warrant Officer Akos Constantine, please report to the captain's office. Warrant Officer Akos Constantine, please report to the captain's office.
Connie twitches. Like his head twitches a bit when he hears the PA system. And he looks Zoe dead in the eye. Zoe, I never wanted to be here in the first place. I was going to be on leave, enjoying time after the war. But then I was denied, sent off into the goddamn belt, chasing God knows what. I never even wanted to be here in the first place. I never wanted to be in a mobile suit. I never wanted to be in the military. But now I'm here. I never wanted to be a marksman. I wanted to be a corpsman. I wanted to help people. But no. Some range officer noticed my shooting was a bit too good, and they gave me a goddamn anti-tank rifle instead of a medical pack. And now I'm here.
You think
Right
you're the
here.
only one with that story, Connie?
No, I know I'm not the only one. But I don't want to be the hero. I don't want to be anything. I'm done with it. I'm done with all of this.
I'm
But
done
now
too.
I'm stuck here.
You know, Zoe, as you're about to speak, the intercom once again says, Warrant Officer Akos Constantine, please report to the captain's office. Warrant
Before
Officer
the announcement repeats,
Akos Constantine,
he's going to
please.
punch. I'm assuming this is still the ready room, right?
Yes.
He's gonna punch one of the lockers. It doesn't matter which one. He's gonna punch it hard.
Take 1 body damage. You know, your hand, it thrums and shakes and shivers.
He does not care. We can have this discussion later, Zoe. As you can see, I have somewhere to be.
Here, you hero of the Federation. And she takes the thing and she's like the little handbar and she goes. And Connie can sense her frustration and her anger, but there's also just a she who can feel sadness and the soft sounds of an instrument somewhere far, far away. One to a place that perhaps she can't reach.
Albrecht,
Well, real quick before we move on,
in the captain's office, what are you doing?
He's just like sat in his chair at the captain's office, like trying to like read files on intelligence reports for pro Zeon sympathy in the Belt and Transbelt region.
Outside the door, you hear the Marine Guard, which I assume you posted because you seem kind of paranoid in this situation.
Not really, to be completely honest.
Well, then you hear a knock on the door.
Enter.
The door opens, and there is Connie.
Constantine. Good to see you. Let's see. He flips through the papers, just going through the after action report of what happened today. Yes. You made contact with sort of your opposite number on the enemy mobile suit team. What can you tell me about that?
name, badge. Did Connie get his last name or just the first name?
I'm assuming you've all been given a report by Matherin of who this guy is.
I want to know what he's like.
Unknown rank. Obviously, they're the group's top ace. Sort of waxes poetic, but when you got him in a grip, he shuts up unless you make him. He cares about his men and is willing to put mission complete. He's willing to put their safety before mission completion.
Did he have a special mobile suit? Did he have any kind of custom MS?
White Gelgoog high mobility. Didn't seem. Actually, I would like to roll.
I'm just going to tell you now to save you the effort, Connie. Seems like a standard high mobility. You know, top of the line mobile suit, not customized in any way particularly.
Seemed like just a standard high mobility Gelgoog with painted white. Typical for Zeon aces to have custom color schemes.
Oh well.
Where was he? Where did he say he was from again? Connie would remember this. Pancake does not because Pancake
Gilby, Minnesota.
Gilby, Minnesota.
So even the MS pilots are ZFL? I thought it was just the crew.
You'd be surprised, sir. I've encountered a few Zeon Foreign Legion members during the 1-year war, and a lot of them were MS pilots, and some of them were aces. This one was born on Earth and seemed to have held a grudge against the Federation for poor management of his town's waters.
Not Not unreasonable, I suppose.
Exactly. If I feel like, if I may speak freely, sir,
Go ahead.
and he looks around and sighs. If what was awaiting them if they got back into Federation hands wasn't a firing squad or the gallows, I feel like we probably would have could have convinced them to surrender.
I'm beginning to think along the same lines. The Zeonic movement is highly divided right now between RFZ, hardliners, Zabi loyalists, Daikun loyalists,
Caecilianists,
like
Gironists.
half a dozen other movements I can't even care to mention.
That's nothing to say about the anti-federal movements on Earth.
Or Axis.
You don't know what that is.
Yeah, what is that?
He doesn't know. It's just the name he read once. I just
Oh, Captain Albrecht, I just remembered something. They said the Gelgoog factory was a bargaining chip.
He sits back in his chair.
I couldn't get the rest out of him, but
He sits in the back of his chair, folds his arms, and just thinks to himself. Oh, Thyssen thinks out loud. I can't afford to let that ship go, as I'm sure you know. But I can't afford to push my crew any farther than they've gone already. Mobile suits,
Yeah.
pilots, mobile suit teams, most especially.
Yeah, Connie looks just as bad as the Dauntless is right now.
If there's
He-
any sort of
He's probably got a couple cuts and scrapes and bruises on him from getting jostled around.
I never thought there'd be a time where I'd resent being just a captain, but this is sort of beyond my ability to negotiate, and I can't, in honesty, promise them amnesty for a surrender as much as I would like to, as much as I need to, given the circumstances. But he sort of looks off in the middle distance and just sort of says, without making eye contact, as though it were to nobody, if there were somebody on this ship with access to a back channel, I just hope they'd talk to Warrant Officer Matherin about it. And then after saying that, he looks Connie directly in the eyes.
Connie cocks his eyebrow questioningly. What do you mean by that, Captain?
Matherin's a knowledgeable man.
What do you mean by back channel, though? And he kind of lowers his voice.
Oh, it's just speaking completely in the abstract. If there was a way that somebody on this ship could communicate with anybody in the broader Zeonic movement without it leaving an official paper trail, that would be more of use to this ship and her mission than 1,000 mobile suits. Just speaking completely in the abstract here, you know. I know gripes go up the chain of command and not down, but one gets lonely. And then he just sort of leans forward and looks him just sort of directly in the eyes and is like, will that be all, Constantine?
I'm just confused, sir. What about me indicates that I have back channels to Zeon?
Oh, I don't. I was just speaking aloud, warrant officer. It's just, if anyone on this vessel or MS team, you know, had made contact or had a way to make contact or had earlier today made contact and may have some way to retain that through any means whatsoever.
All right, I get what you're saying. I misinterpreted it. I thought you read something in my personnel file that let's just leave it here for now.
I'm just saying that, of course, as captain, I couldn't be told this, but Matherin is an educated man.
I get it. I get it, sir. And he looks around and mouths, "I will see him shortly."
Matherin, seeing Castillo. You know,
Oh, what? Can I have one last line?
sure, go ahead.
Constantine, if you're willing to make yourself useful, the medical bay is looking for volunteers.
Very well. I did train to be a corpsman before a range officer noticed how unfortunately good I am with a rifle.
Yeah. We kind of super need corpsmen right now.
Yeah, Connie is going to. Well, I mean, Matherin's already the chief medical officer, so that's perfect.
Matherin, the scene
Yes.
cuts to you. You take off bloody gloves, and in front of this horrible, beam burn victim in front of you after having treated him. And you're on a break because you have to go piss. you walk away, and as the camera watches you, you walk past the bathroom. I believe you have somewhere to go, Matherin.
I am going to go and try and ransack the ship's personnel files see if I can track down any potential leads on maybe if there's any other crew that I suspect has been flipped aboard by the remnants or remnant sympathizers, and the confusion of the patient transfer seems like the perfect opportunity to do that. If anyone questions, I'll just say I need
Medical
may
records.
need it for medical reasons, and also I just don't expect anyone to ask too many questions.
I'd like you to roll me poise stealth +3.
That will be 5 success with that plus.
You slip in to the personnel file room. You turn on the lights, and there's stacks upon stacks of file cabinets, all built into the wall, of course. We can't have them jostled about. What do you do?
Is it all paper copy, or is there a computer terminal in here I can access?
There's both.
Probably just use the terminal, try and sort it by anyone transferred onto this ship in the last 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months, or 3 months
well-
onwards? Last week? Last month? Remember, the war wasn't that long ago.
Not long ago. I'd go back at least. I'd go to the last week of the war, probably. Because I can't take every file here, but I can try and cut it down a little bit.
You open up these files. What are you looking for exactly? You get to them.
Anyone transferred in, anyone where maybe a service record is not complete, or anything that might have obvious gaps, anything where conveniently, if they've been transferred off from a ship that then within the same week was lost, stuff like that. Basically anything that looks too neat of an attempt to tie up loose ends, or just any obvious gaps.
Alrighty then. I'd like you to make me keen investigate.
Investigate. Is 5, 9. That is 4 success.
You know, I don't know how suspicious you were. 3. 2 that showed up from ships that you know, because as previously stated, you're a very educated man. Flip to Zeke's. Mahal Marines specifically, and their ships that they were on had defected. One had just transferred in right before this mission, and you know, fresh out of academy, didn't see any of the war. A supply officer. These are your suspects.
Okay. I will pull those files, and I'm also going to pull like an equal number of files just completely at random, so that if someone like
Slips by.
flips by, it's going to hopefully get lost in the shuffle a little bit. I'll also pull the captain's file because again, he's either I am somewhat intrigued by the Albrecht's argument of they're either incompetent or they're in on it. So best to get to know them as much as I can via this method as well.
You're looking at this captain's file. I'd like you to roll me composure and poise.
That is 2 success.
This is his 3rd ship. He captained a Gaugal during January, had it shot underneath of him. It notes that he was one of 4 survivors, and
Jeez.
a repeat performance on the Musai at a Boaku with 10 survivors out of the crew.
Oh, not a great record. I will also cross-reference see if any of those like shipmates from that second ship are on this one.
Only one.
Okay, I'll pull
For
that one.
his first officer, to be specific.
Okay.
Sometime, after having gone to the bathroom, Matherin, you return, or with your pack slightly heavier, and then you see aboard Connie.
So this is the Zeke ship, right?
Yep.
All right. Connie is unsurprisingly, or surprisingly, not really lost here. It looks like he knows his general way around.
Connie, in the activity, you spot Matherin.
He's gonna wave him down and start floating towards him.
You arrive. He's right in front of you.
So Connie is going to give Matherin the rundown of what Captain Albrecht wanted him to tell him very quietly. And after all that, he's going to switch up. And it's like, so, where do you need me for medical duties? I used to be a corpsman, or I trained to be a corpsman.
Oh, I'm certain we can find a way to put your skills to good work. I don't know what you checked. direct Connie in the most useful direction immediately or not. Or if I can
Connie,
figure
you
that
see Matherin just like gesture over if he would follow me, and like as if to say, "Well, if you would follow me," and then the scene cuts. Lozy, what are you doing?
Lozy is looking at a little bit old lunchbox, so an old lunch sack she made for one of her siblings, one of the younger ones. It has a little inspirational quote and a cute little doodle she made. And she's
Aw.
looking at it and she's thinking. And she's in the hangar, sort of waiting on the repairs for a mobile suit. Question.
Yes.
Can I spend a narrative point?
2.
And this involves all of the other pilots.
What do you want to spend it on?
Losey would like to know a image or thing or person that would relate to each pilot and something she would know or something you'd want her to know. Just an image or thing that relates to each and can sort of concise each and every pilot.
I'll take away that narrative point.
Oh.
Okay, then. So, here's some information for you, Losey. As per the retcon, so Losey, Mathron and Albrecht go way, way back. Albrecht is a war hero for his very daring capture of a Musa using nothing but a Lepanto. Ensign Joe, his political proclivities without him needing to tell you it in full. You heard about Connie's Zeke sister and Zeke mother. Saul's grandparents are Admiralty who died. You now know Zoe is a orphan.
Okay. In that case,
that or
oh.
their status is genuinely unknown. Like they assume she's an orphan because, the Earth sphere is a mess right now.
Well, everywhere's kind of a mess.
Yeah, everywhere's kind of a mess. So it's like general status of her family is unknown.
MIA
case-
assumed KIA.
Yeah, assumed.
Losey is going to essentially pull some strings if she can.
To
Talk to Joe a bit and sort of conspire.
You find Joe and Gotham in the ready room drinking.
Well, howdy, gents.
Gotham looks up. Miss Losey, care to join us? He raises a pouch.
Nah, actually drinking alters my painting skills,
Oh, really now?
I think everyone in the Pilot Corps has been down and out after, all that's happened. I think I have a plan. You think you two can help?
Gotham looks at you, Joe.
I suppose it depends on what you have in mind.
Well, Joe, I'm gonna need you to keep some folks distracted. I think what every pilot here needs, including you, is a little pick-me-up. I think I was a bit too hard on the kid and, Connie and Saul had at it in that fight. I think I'm gonna paint a little something personal to each one of them on their cockpit. Leave a little message. Something they can look at when they get in. Things are gonna get rough, and I think they all need something to remind them of home.
The
You
scene.
in?
Oh,
Fair enough. I mean, it's not as good as getting another run at that damn ship, but it should do something for morale.
He just smiles at that and shakes his hand.
Right? Any idea of what sort of distraction you want, or just find a way to keep them occupied?
Just find a way to keep the important people occupied. I don't think the engineers will care much.
Understood. Joe will just like rummage around at the side of the table for more more alcohol and a deck of cards.
The scene changes to Zoe. Zoe, what are you
Her head,
doing?
her head feels strange, different than the usual kind of condition she feels her head in the post-war. She can feel herself, how angry she is, and she can feel Connie, and she can feel somewhere out there the people she knows, people she wants to go back to, waiting for her. And she's so scared. She doesn't know what to do anymore. She wants to just destroy these remnants, get it over with. But she's doesn't know what's even happening to herself anymore. But that Zeon pilot told her something, and she has to tell the captain. She has to make sure she can get home. She knocks on the captain office door.
Albrecht, you hear a knock on the door.
Enter.
The door opens to a very exhausted Zoe, even more exhausted looking than usual.
Ensign Zoe, what can I do for you?
I have something to tell you, Captain.
Go on.
When I recovered that Republic of Zeon pilot, he said something I thought you'd want to hear.
Please.
Apparently, the pilots that shot at us were swayed by those Rethe pilots. They say that there's some kind of asteroid out there, still keeping up the fight. Seemed like it was convincing enough to make 4 pilots turn tail, turn traitor.
Huh. That's not the craziest thing in the galaxy, I suppose. Did you hear these? You heard the secondhand from the pilot you recovered, correct?
Yes.
I'll send a missive to Pamra, see if we can look into this a bit more. This is definitely something that would warrant a joint operation. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Sir,
Well, finding an asteroid, though, that's not easily done. But, oh well. Is there anything else?
if we keep letting this drag on, we might run into that asteroid. And
You're not equipped to
that-
fight a fortress.
if that happens, I don't know what's going to happen. Captain,
We wouldn't attempt to engage an asteroid. It's the Rethi. If this place exists, if it's an asteroid that's in the belt, that's not even a given. If it's real, it's a likely candidate for the Rethi's ultimate destination. We'd follow them, but then turn back once we confirm the location.
but if they deliver that factory to that asteroid, if it exists, then this whole war is gonna start again. And she's like starting to grip her head as she looks to be in pain.
Zoe, I'm not one to talk, but there's certain things one has and one does not have control over in one's life. Our mission is to stop it from getting there. To stop that war from happening by any means necessary, including, more likely than not, diplomatic ones. We'll do what we can. But just as we cannot afford to let that mobile suit factory pass into wherever it's going, I can't afford to press my crew any further or ask them to give any more than can be given or has been given. Black Bear teams performed admirably. Beyond
So-
admirably, Frank, given the circumstances.
She just stays quiet as she's like, Captain, if we encounter them, if the junior lieutenant and warrant officer try to break off again, like we've done 2 times now, I don't think we should keep breaking off.
I hear you. Hopefully it won't have to come to that. The Rethi is limping. I think if we can talk to them the right way, we can work something out. But we do, despite it all, we do have the upper hand here. I would like to not deploy the mobile suit teams again if possible.
I don't think that's going to happen, Captain. She sighs as she lets out a salute.
Well,
I'll be
Ensign,
waiting
if
for
it happens, I'll owe you.
She salutes. I'll be waiting for your order, Captain.
That'll be all.
And she walks out.
Saul,
Yes.
you're walking by when suddenly you're trying to go back to the hangar and you feel a hand land on your shoulder. To your
Oh,
left, there's
boy.
Ensign Joe.
Oh. Ensign?
Lieutenant, I
Did
think the mobile suit team needs to come down to the ready room as soon as able.
All right. I can do that. It's on a short notice and people are tired, but
Oh, I promise it's worth your time.
very well.
Oh, and don't forget your wallets.
Wallets?
And he'll flash a deck of cards at him.
He nods awkwardly and will proceed to gather everyone and also go grab his wallet.
After doing so, you have Zoe, yourself, Saul, Connie, and Joe in this room, in the ready room. Everyone looks dead tired.
Well, not the most lively of bunches, but at least we're all alive. So that has to count for something. And Joe will start dealing cards.
Okay. Fatigue, empathy.
Yeah, because I forgot to. It sort of got lost. But
That's all good.
yeah, Connie, you look around you, and Losey is nowhere to be seen.
6.
Where's the belter?
Had a prior commitment.
Connie sighs and kicks off and floats up into the top of the ready room. Hey, Gomine, how much good did Connie do helping out the gratitude?
At least 4 people will get to go home, assuming
That's good
nothing
enough
bad
for me.
happens afterwards.
Mm.
You know,
Connie's basically just essentially reclining, but on the ceiling.
You guys play for a few hours. Then you all hear a knock on the door. You all look there, and there's Losi. She's covered in paint.
Oh, thank God that's done. I think I would have fallen asleep halfway through the next hand.
Things take time. Did anything without me?
You look at the pile, and Zoe seems to have swept, or isn't currently sweeping, but all things change in a game of chance.
Yeah, maybe I should go back and change something. Yeah, that's alright. She sort of sits down. Imagine no more chips for me then.
We don't really play with chips. We bet with cash and whatever we got on hand. This isn't casino poker. This is fighting men and women poker. Hell, I've seen guys bet the buttons off their uniforms in Dakar over a hand.
Well, I don't think we're at that point quite yet. We're a bit,
Pretty early into the
Close to
deployment.
it.
give it a month or two.
Have any of you guys
Well, hopefully this errand doesn't
been
take that long.
infantry beyond Saul? I'll take that as a no. Oh. Sorry, did what I say not pick up? Before?
My headphones may have been pulled off my head by
A cat.
something.
Mischievous cat.
I didn't say that. I
Mischievous
just
cat.
implied it heavily.
We know your cats have frankly become regulars of News Gang RPG by this point.
So I do apologize.
Have any of you guys beyond Saul been infantry?
Connie, you look around, it seems like a big fat no.
He just lets out a
Joe's
sigh.
like, oh God, no. I don't want to be sucking dirt. No offense.
You suck a lot more than dirt out in the field.
Yeah, more than you think.
You two aren't selling it for me.
Well, I mean, there are key benefits. Lots of fresh air.
More
Yes.
variety in food.
Joe kind of
Okay.
thinks like, huh, fresh air. I wonder what that's like.
Oh, it's
Pleasant.
great. Let me tell you, it's wonders for morale. Same with all the good food.
I wouldn't necessarily call it good, but at least there's variety.
Connie, we're on a ship where they served us head cheese.
Just once, and it was at the captain's table. That's an exception.
Well,
That's not
Saul,
normal.
I quite enjoyed it. It seems you don't have the refined palate of our good captain like I do. He's making a joke, but all of the humor in his voice is completely gone.
He looks at you with a very similar look, but he does chuckle just a little bit. You remember how do you remember how many times the Regina squad hit their mark?
Sorry, you got really quiet, Caffeine.
Oh, that's on me. I'm sorry. Let me go perish quick. He said he chuckled and he basically said, "Do you remember how many times the Regina team hit their mark?"
How could I forget? Half Foot wouldn't shut up about it. You
I
know,
thought
it's
they were.
quite easy to rack up MS kills when you got what was it? No, 4 Regina launchers firing at one Zaku, and your main rival is some dumb 19-year-old with an anti-tank rifle from the Middle Ages.
Hey. He did good work. That dumb 19-year-old.
The only good work I did would cost me this, and he holds out his leg.
His kind of semi-casual smile disappears. He extends a hand. He looks like he's gonna put on Connie's shoulder, and he hesitates.
Connie's literally on the ceiling right now.
That's
Just
right.
reaching up
Gravity.
at him.
Yeah, he's reaching.
It's Adam and God.
Yeah,
I don't want to know who is who in this situation, but I believe Lozy, you have something to show the class.
I feel like Lizzie wouldn't have exactly been like, hey, look at what I did for y'all. I think she just would have walked in covered in paint. And next time they all
They,
go to see their
Oh,
mobile
I was gonna
suits.
say no. Joe's been like getting his ass kicked at poker for the last 3 hours. He wants to pay off for this, so it's like, well, this has been a blast, but let's go see what our artist has accomplished. And like,
I don't have
shimmy-ing
any
everyone out of the ready room.
well, I mean, it's best if it's more subtle, and you're just like pushing her through.
Yeah, there's no time like the present. Also, I don't need the rest of my paycheck to be picked up by.
Peg Leg and Earth Boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
You all arrive in the hangar. Lozy, describe what they see.
Well, I have just written it all down. Starting with Zoe, Connie, Saul, and then Joe. Zoe, at the cockpit of your mobile suit are the words keep atom hard ass, your friends are here for you forever and always. There lays an image of a young woman with brightly colored hair stringing away at her guitar. Gentle music notes dot the scene coming from the device. Behind her are silhouettes of various figures cheering her on. Connie, you think piloting's hard? Parenting will change your mind. The silhouettes of 3 women dot the scene. The first 2 are holding each other close, with features and hair similar to Connie himself. The last cradles an object between her arms, wrapped in what appears to be a silk blanket. For Saul, come on, Prince Charming, I'm sure your Cinderella's waiting. A woman in a cotton dress sits on a lone oak log, a field overlooking her and a tree giving her shade. On the fields below lie 2 marked graves and a prince on horseback on the roads in the distance. For Joe, I'll beat you next time. Your luck hasn't run out yet. A pair of dice and chips are painted on the background of a large explosion. 2 missiles fly past the scene and out of frame, and both die are landed on perfect 6s.
The scene cuts. As you know, it all gets your presumed heartwarming reactions to this. And it cuts to a pair of feet walking along the hallways. Alberic, you hear a knock on the door.
Come in.
You see it open. Matherin is there with a stack of files in his hand.
What do you have there?
Looks like I may have some leads on more remnant plants on board the. Sorry, it would have helped if I remember the Gratitude's name for that scene. Gratitude.
What'd you find?
To do.
What'd you find, Matherin?
More potential suspects.
Would you probably shouldn't radio the Pamra on the list?
I'm going to look deeper, but I'm not sure this time. I don't know if have I had a chance to cross-reference any of this stuff yet, or is it just I've acquired these files and still need to go through them?
All right. Well, perhaps if you think we can trust Pamela, then during the next patient transfer, I'd like you to go aboard and have a conversation with him.
Understood. I'm hoping that this is just another case of the good captain's particularly rotten luck.
In either case, I hope so too, but I think the image of my face will probably sour any type of productive conversation you could have, and not unjustifiably so. But I think we may be increasingly necessary for us to exceed our orders and find some kind of diplomatic solution. If you catch my meaning.
Understood. I think that, frankly, I don't know what what more can be reasonably expected of us. We seem to be sent to accomplish a task on a bit of a shoestring budget.
We don't have the mobile suits we need. We don't have the food we need. We don't have the ammo we need. Our allies, for all their efforts, great if we had a lot more of them. We don't know where they're going. We don't know what they have, how they got it, or why they have it. So, us against the world, eh?
Seems that way. But I think we'll manage.
As you say that, Matherin, the scene starts to fade to black.